rolling, and I'm not here.
So if you don't mind introducing yourself.
My name is Melissa Tano.
And what brought you to our practice?
So my husband and I, when we decided that we wanted to start a family, we thought it was going to be rather quick, right? Most people are like, oh, I'm going to get pregnant within the next year. We tried, and it didn't happen for us. And when it did, it resulted in a loss. So then we had a hard time trying to get pregnant, and it was maybe, I want to say like 2 years or so, right? And then I saw another IVF doctor at that time, not IVFMD, and we did some treatments, and I wasn't exactly happy with what the outcome was. I wasn't really happy with the services, not any bad on that practice. I didn't feel comfortable. So then I started researching and I found IVFMD. So that's how I came to the office. And from the moment I walked in, it was refreshing to what I was used to before, and it gave me hope. So that's pretty much how we started.
And who was your physician?
We started with Dr. Bustillo, which she was wonderful, loved her. I was with her for some time. And then we worked with Dr. Iserman. So I had 2 physicians. I was lucky enough to have 2.
Okay. And what does this overall experience mean to your family?
Wow, that's a very deep question.
You must paraphrase when you answer. This means this for my family.
Okay.
For my family, this means.
Okay. For my family, this means a lot. That's a very difficult question just to answer in just a couple of words. It means everything, from the moment that we got pregnant to the moment that we actually saw that it was a viable pregnancy, to the moment that I gave birth and she made us parents. That was everything for us. It was a lot of work and dreams put together, and it was the most beautiful experience that I could have ever wanted. It's changed me for a better person. It's brought my husband and I closer together, and it means so much. And as a family, as a nucleus, it brought us together more than you can ever imagine. So we're very, very blessed. It means a whole lot to us.
Great, perfect. What fears did you experience, and do you have anything to tell future patients who might be starting this process about that?
Okay, so the fear that you encounter is that you're by yourself in this process, right? It's kind of taboo to talk about infertility and why we're having difficulties, because as women, we're expected to just be able to procreate easily. For some of us, it's not that much of an easy journey. So the fear that we can't talk about it, the fear that whenever we are going to continue with treatment, it's going to result in a loss, right? Like a kind of like a PTSD, if you will. So those fears, you really need to embrace them, right? Because it's part of the process, and just trust the process. And most importantly, have faith. And what brought everything together was perseverance. It was really the persistence and the faith that we had that one day this might be our truth. One day we are going to have a baby. So that's a fear that definitely is very real. But I would say to anybody that is considering to do treatment, to embrace that fear, to not be afraid, to not be ashamed, because there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's a lot of empowerment within fertility and within trusting your physician and trusting the treatment. And do your own research also. Do your own research and feel comfortable with the next steps that you are taking with the process, whether it be IUIs or whether it be an in-depth IVF. There's an array of different treatments, but definitely do your research. Embrace the fear. There's nothing wrong with that. Educate yourself and just make sure that the physician is the right one for you so you can feel comfortable with that,
Great,
with the
perfect.
process.
Is there anything you'd like to speak to towards your husband's role? Any concerns you both had? Any health-related concerns? Any struggles that you both experienced or that he specifically experienced?
The struggles that we experienced were that we've had a couple of losses. So it is a bumpy journey with obstacles. I think it's very unrealistic to think that this is going to be a very smooth journey, because sometimes it's not, right? So as long as you have the buy-in from both your husband, right, and you meet towards the middle, and you have each other to support and to bring each other up when you are down, that is the best advice that I could give you. It becomes a team effort. It really does. Because sometimes when the treatments don't go well or there's a loss, you need that rock. You need that constant. And that's what my husband was for me. I couldn't have done it without his support or his love or his undying belief in me. So, or support. So yeah.
Great, thank you.
My pleasure. So what was different with that interaction was, from the moment I walked in, it was very comforting. It wasn't like walking into another doctor's office and I was another patient or another number. I actually sat down with a physician and I felt that they weren't judging me. Where before, it was more so like, oh, okay, I've been through this before, or we've done something like this before, and we'll just do X, Y, and Z. The difference was, in this case, I felt like I was actually speaking to somebody that cared, which for me was a huge relief. And also, we talked through trials and tribulations. I actually felt that I was speaking to somebody that not so much cared, but that was a family member of mine, if that even makes sense. Like, that's the comfort level that I felt initially. And as I continued with the treatment, they never gave up on me. And they were very candid with me and realistic with me as to what the outcomes can be, and what I can expect. And they were very, very candid with me and truthful with me. Where some other physicians, it would be you have a price tag, right? IVF is going to cost you between 50 to 30 grand, depending on how much you need. So it wasn't about the money with them. They even turned me away from certain treatments that they thought might not be good for me. So the fact that I had that attention from them and that customization from them, if you will, and I felt like they felt what I was going through in my journey, believe it or not, because physicians usually are physicians, right? They go through the process. But I actually felt that they related to me and we connected. So in the sense, on a human piece, it was bar none. Bar none. Dr. Bustillo and Dr. Iserman were exceptional. And I would recommend them with my eyes closed.